Hello everyone, how are you? Hope all of you are doing well. In this session, we are going to talk about Read Aloud. Read Aloud is basically a question type of PTE examination. It is the first question type of speaking module actually that appears in the examination. So today we are going to understand what exactly Read Aloud is. Okay, so without any further ado, let's directly cut to the chase. All right, everyone. So today we are starting something extremely important for your PT success. This session is called PT Read Aloud Complete Master Guide. And I want you to understand one thing very clearly from the beginning. This is not just another speaking task explanation. This is actually the foundation of your entire PT speaking score. If you master Read Aloud, the first question type that is asked in the examination, you don't just improve one question type. You improve your pronunciation, your fluency, your confidence, and even your reading accuracy, all at the same time. So think of today's session as learning the core operating system behind high PT speaking scores. By the end of this lecture, you should not only know what read aloud is, you should deeply understand how scoring works, why students lose marks, and exactly how to reach a near perfect performance. Let's begin with the most basic but most powerful clarity. Read aloud is the very first task in the speaking section of the PTE exam. So psychologically, this task is your first impression on the scoring system. On the screen, you will see a short academic paragraph, usually around 60 to 70 words. Your job sounds simple. You just read the text aloud clearly and naturally into the microphone. But here is the real strategic insight. This single task contributes to two different scores at the same time. Your speaking score and your reading score. But here there is a catch. This scoring system is of old examination pattern. After the new update of 7th August, now the contribution is only there in speaking module, not in reading module. But this is just to inform you because previously the scoring system operated in this way. It was a double scoring mechanism basically. Partial score went to speaking module and partial to reading module, but now it only contributes to speaking module. So, from an exam strategy perspective, this is not a small question. This is a high impact launchpad that influences your overall PT performance from the very beginning. Now, let's understand the mechanics of the task because timing awareness is absolutely critical here. In the real exam, you usually get about 6 to 7 read aloud questions. For one, you receive 30 to 40 seconds of preparation time and then up to 40 seconds to record your voice. The task is called speaking task. Okay, because you must read visually and speak orally at the same time. The text length stays around 60 to 70 words approximately. It can increase or decrease, which means the exam is testing quality of speech, not quantity. But now listen very carefully to the most dangerous rule. If you remain silent for more than 3 seconds after the microphone opens or after you hear the beep, the system will automatically stop your recording. This is what I call the kill switch moment in read aloud. So hesitation is not just a fluency problem. It can literally cancel your answer completely. That's why confidence at the start is extremely important. Many students believe read aloud is only about pronunciation. but the real scoring system is much more precise and even somewhat complicated. This slide shows something called the scoring triad, three pillars that decide your performance. First pillar is content. You must read exactly the same words that appear on the screen. No missing words, no extra words, no changes in tense or order. Even small differences are counted as errors. Second pillar, pronunciation. This includes clear sounds, correct word stress, natural rhythm, and proper intonation. The scoring scale ranges from native like clarity to all the way down to non-English like speech. Third pillar, oral fluency. This measures the flow of your speech. Is it smooth, continuous, confident, free from hesitation and self-correction? To achieve a top score, you must perform strongly in all three pillars simultaneously. Not one, not two, but all three together. Now let's visualize what a perfect read aloud response actually looks like. This slide gives us a beautiful formula. Accurate plus clear plus natural equals to top score. Let's unpack this slowly. Accurate means you read every word exactly as written. Clear means your sounds are easy to understand, your stress is correct, and your intonation feels natural. Natural means your speed is comfortable, your pauses follow punctuation, and your speech feels like real communication, not robotic reading. When these three qualities combine, the scoring system recognizes your speech as high level, confident, and intelligible. And that is exactly what produces a top band performance. Now we move to the most powerful scoring moment that students usually underestimate, the 30 to 40-second preparation window. High scoring candidates do five very specific mental actions here. First, they scan the overall meaning quickly. Second, they spot difficult elements like numbers, acronyms, or names. Third, they chunk the sentences into natural phrases for breathing and rhythm. Fourth, they observe punctuation and predict intonation. And finally, they mentally rehearse the rhythm once before speaking. This short preview is not a small step. It is actually the control center of your final performance. Because what you do in these 30 seconds decides how confident and fluent you sound during the 40-second recording. Now we enter the recording phase, where execution becomes everything. This slide highlights several golden delivery rules. Start speaking within about 1 second after the microphone opens. This avoids the dangerous silence cutoff. Maintain a natural conversational pace around 3 to 4 words per second, not rushed, not slow. Pause briefly at commas and slightly longer at full stops to create natural rhythm. Keep the microphone 2 to 3 fingers away so your voice is clear without distortion. And most importantly, finish your sentence before the recording bar ends because once the bar stops, your answer stops even mid word. Now we move to a very practical exam reality, technical reading conventions. Because in Read Aloud, you don't just read words, you also read numbers, dates, currency, and acronyms. For example, Decimals must use the word point. Dates must be spoken in clear natural format. Currency must include the spoken unit like dollars. And acronyms must be pronounced either as letters or as a word, depending on the case. So the lesson here is simple. Technical discipline is part of language success. Now, this slide gives us a powerful reminder. PT does not reward accent, it rewards clarity. So your goal is not to sound British or American. Your goal is to sound clear, stable, and intelligible. That requires three things: clear vowel and consonant sounds, correct word stress patterns, like the difference between photograph and photography, and strong ending sounds such as S, ed, T, and D. These tiny endings are extremely important because dropping them makes speech sound incomplete or unclear. So always remember, clarity is more powerful than accent. Alright, now we move into the danger zone of scoring. The mistakes that silently destroy marks even when pronunciation sounds good. The first and most damaging category is content errors. Remember something very important. In read aloud, you are not allowed to improve the sentence, you are not allowed to paraphrase, and you are not allowed to change grammar. Your only job is to reproduce the text exactly. But many students unknowingly make four common content mistakes. They skip a word, they add an extra word, they say the wrong word, or they change tense or number. Each of these errors directly reduces your content score, no matter how beautiful your pronunciation sounds. So here is a golden rule I want you to remember forever. In read aloud, accuracy comes before fluency. First be correct, then be smooth. Because if the words are wrong, fluency cannot save the score. Obviously. Now let's talk about the second big score killer, fluency problems. Fluency is not about speaking fast, and fluency is not about sounding impressive. Fluency is simply this: smooth, continuous, and confident flow of speech. But the slide shows several behaviors that break this flow. Long pauses, hesitations, self-corrections, false starts, speaking too fast, speaking too slow, and repeating words again and again. All of these create what I call broken rhythm speech. And the PT scoring system is extremely sensitive to rhythm interruptions. So remember this powerful insight. Fluency is rhythm, not speed. You don't need to sound fast, you need to sound steady because steady rhythm signals confidence and control to the scoring system. Next, this slide introduces something very powerful: prosody, which means the music of speech. The key rule written on the slide is beautiful. Punctuation indicates rhythm, not vocabulary. That means you should pause at commas and full stops, but you should never carry the punctuation words aloud like comma or full stop. Other common mistakes include ignoring pauses completely, using rising tone for normal statements or misreading hyphenated or compound words. All of this makes speech sound unnatural and difficult to understand, which reduces both clarity and comprehensibility. So always remember, good pronunciation is musical, not mechanical. You are not reading symbols. You are producing meaningful spoken rhythm. This may be the most comforting slide in the entire presentation because it answers the question every student worries about. What if I make a mistake while reading? And the rule is very clear. Do not restart, do not panic, do not paraphrase, just keep going. Why? Because restarting destroys your fluency score far more than a single wrong word harms content. So the scoring psychology is surprising. One small mistake, still safe. But restarting the whole thing, major score damage. That's why this slide repeats one powerful message. Confidence is part of scoring. Calm continuation sounds more fluent than perfect but broken speech. And now we arrive at the destination of the entire journey, the path to mastery. High read aloud scores are not talent, they are daily training. The slide shows a simple but powerful routine. Start with a warm up reading to activate your voice and rhythm. Then practice 10 read aloud questions daily to build consistency. After that, review your mistakes carefully because awareness creates improvement. And finally, do targeted pronunciation drills to strengthen weak areas. If you follow this routine consistently, the final formula becomes true. Read exactly, speak clearly, maintain natural rhythm. All these equals to PT Read Aloud 90 out of 90. And that is not just a motivational line. It is a practical, achievable reality when strategy meets discipline.